Hello, everybody. It is all political. It has been a couple days. I have been sick. This is my second or third take that I've had to do because the last take I was all over the place. I was not focused. Wanted to do a quick little rant on something that I noticed. Um, there's been a lot of push on a lot of social media websites, and also from my friends sharing reels with me about class consciousness, class struggle, a lot of socialist propaganda, a lot of Marxist propaganda. Um, Class warfare, etc. But the thing is that I understand that inequality is a huge problem in this country. That the wealthy have bought out our government because Citizens United, that happened, and or Citizens versus United, that happened, and super PACs are a thing. Large donors basically run our country. We haven't had a representative democracy legitimately since 2008, 2009. I don't know when Citizens United exactly got ruled on, but around that time since the Great Recession. But there's been something else that has been going on for decades now for that is actually a lot more important that ties into uh, these this thing that everybody's trying to talk about, that the tyranny that is supposed to be happening within the United States government, or coming to the United States government, needs to be fought with the legs of the class consciousness because the rich rule everything. And unfortunately, if people were more educated, they would understand that that isn't the fucking problem. We only actually got to this point because our education system in this country has been falling apart for the last 50 years or so, if not more. And the only real people we have to blame in that regard is ourselves, if we're going to be real. And also probably Reagan. One of the main reasons why our education system in this country has been falling apart is because of the populist propaganda campaign by Reagan to basically cut public funding for colleges and schools in California that then spread across the country and eventually got him into office. That was the start in the beginning of the demise of our education system within our country. It's really unfortunate too, because our good old founding father and first president George Washington understood that the biggest critique against democracy, their Aristotelian critique, that uh, eventually democracy would become ruled by a poor and uneducated majority. Um, he understood that critique was valid, and he understood that only way to work around that critique was by making sure that everybody within the population of our democracy had equal access and opportunity to education, and or received a baseline education of some sort. And he believed that a liberal education, which delved into the science of governance and also the history of how the concept of democracy came about, was important for citizens to be able to participate within our government, participate within democracy, encourage public service, and understand the ins and outs of how our government worked, and why it worked in certain ways, and why rule of law was important, and why electing certain types of people into positions of power was not a good idea, um, and why certain laws had to be written so that those types of people would not be allowed to, one, rise to that position of power in the first place, and two, could not maintain those positions of power. So education is important for the functioning of a democracy or even a constitutional republic such as the United States, which is it's a democratic constitutional republic. But we're over here trying to fight a class war and save democracy without the understanding that our baseline need for education has been destroyed and taken away from us, and we're too stupid to realize, oh shit, we don't we kind of forgot the most important part. We need to know enough in order to fight against the tyranny in the first place. We have to know enough and be educated enough in order to understand the ins and outs of our government. We have to be educated enough to, not elect officials that we know are going to just screw us on the back end. It's a not just a societal problem, it's a poorly educated public problem. Um, and I feel like some people understand that. Um, but I do believe that there's potentially a propaganda campaign from foreign actors through our social media to promote uh, socialist, Marxist, uh, class consciousness, class warfare propaganda in order to distract us from real problem slash solution to potentially getting our government on the right track and our system and our country on the right track. Because if the masses are distracted by class warfare, how are they ever going to realize, hey, oh yeah, we need, you know, an education system first. We need to educate ourselves first on how this actually works before we start going to fight our government. Everybody needs a baseline education. Oh, hey, our government has been uh, on both sides for the last 50 years, uh, making it as difficult as possible for our populace to receive baseline education. Uh, also, there is a factor there where the likes of Bill Gates um, funded the development of Common Core, and Common Core has a lot of fucking problems. We all know that. And since Common Core has been implemented across the United States, test scores across the board for reading and math and also literacy rates for children in the United States have been dropping like a rock, and they're not coming back. And COVID did not fucking help either. In fact, COVID was around the time when Common Core started getting fully implemented across the board throughout the entire country. Um, so you have a government which has been fucking up our education system, probably not on purpose, but almost seems like it, for 50 years. And then after Citizens United, or Citizens vs. United, got ruled on, you have billionaires that are making up education plans for our country, which turn out to be of a net detriment to our children and our populace. So, and then you have the media that is promoting class warfare, class consciousness on one end, while making people fight over class conflicts, gender wars, etc. on the other end. When the one thing that could really, really, get us back on track is our just realizing, oh shit, our education system's fucked, and it has been, and the government's been fucking with it for quite a long time, and they don't know what they're doing. And I mean, look at the college loan shit. That is every step of the way for the last 50 fucking years. Every ruling, every bill, every time the government has tried to do something in regards to college education, they made it substantially worse for the American public to get a college education, let alone K through 12. And I'm not talking about making it harder to get a K through 12 education. I'm just saying the quality of K through 12 education has taken a substantial hit. um, so why aren't we focusing on the foundation in which democracy is held up by our education? Why is nobody talking about this in the media and understanding, hey, what to save our country? If you feel like our country's falling apart, it's not, you don't need class consciousness, you don't need class warfare, you don't need fucking all this immigration shit, you don't need the gender war shit, you just need to revamp the education system. Because then all things stem from that. If more people are educated about certain topics, you won't have the conflicts that are going on right now on across the board. If more people are educated, you wouldn't have certain types of people getting elected in certain places of power that end up doing really stupid shit. And that's not pointing towards any specific politician or party. That's just across the board. That's both sides. Like, if more people were educated, then you have people that would want to participate in public service that actually kind of deserve to be there, that actually know what the fuck they're doing, and less shills that just want your fucking money and votes and will do anything to stay in office while lying straight to your face. I don't understand why we have forgotten the importance of education in relation to our democracy. I think it's because we've gotten to a point that we aren't educating people on the importance of education as it relates to democracy because our education system's gotten that bad or bad enough, or at least the majority of people aren't being educated on this. And it's funny too that I had to pay, or I didn't even have to pay. The Navy, yes, I'm in the Navy. Um, I'm using tuition assistance to go to college classes so that I could be told, hey, by the way, ed- education is extremely important to democracy. I bet you weren't taught that in school. And I'm just like, why the fuck was I taught that in school? That seems like the fucking most important baseline fucking thing that I should have been goddamn taught in school. Like middle school at least. But no, that's never fucking mentioned. Um, at least not for me, not in my experience, and I've never heard of anybody else talking about this in my circle, like in my circles or in my social media circles or in my feeds, nothing. So again, I just have to ask, like, why are we talking about this? Why the fuck are we talking about education as it relates to democracy? I understand there are certain media outlets that will talk about, hey, there's a problem with our education system. Hey, test scores are dropping. And they'll just kind of leave it at that. They don't tie it to the importance of how our society functions and or how our government runs. They never tie it to that. I just gotta wonder why. Why? Why is nobody talking about this? Why has nobody made this fucking connection, man? Maybe some people have, maybe I'm not in the right social media spheres, maybe I'm not like talking to the right people, but I genuinely don't get it. At this point I'm just ranting, but again, this is just another one of my rants. But I ran about fucking something. I gotta make a video about something. It's been like 5 days since I made a video. And yeah, this might relate to my next video about like how exactly our education it got taken the fuck apart by our government step by step by accident um, over the last 50 years. And I'm getting tired. I have to do my homework. Uh, it's about Victorian dresswear and style, and I have to write a one-page uh, review or thoughts about it with sources and all that. And it's just a pain in the butt. I have to do a bunch of reading and then write something. I still have to figure out how to eat dinner and all that. Um, but yeah, it's 15 minutes. If you have any comments or questions, go ahead and comment below. Share and like if you think I'm doing a good service or providing value. Uh, Also free to dislike me if you think my video content shit and if I ramble too much. But uh, don't do that if you, unless I'm like genuinely bad. And also don't bully me, please. I'm just starting this shit after years of hiatus and not doing it. Um, but yeah, this is my creative outlet. Hope you enjoy, and I really gotta cut down on my time. It's holy fuck. Um, and yeah, again, this is all political. Hope you guys enjoyed. Share, like, subscribe. Wow, that's the first time I've asked anybody to fucking subscribe uh, in a hot minute. And there should be 2 video suggestions to this side. There should be a playlist that gets recommended, and then another thing down here is just 2 different videos. Probably one of them's my playlist, the other one's just other bullshit that the algorithm recommends. You know what the deal is. And then my channel if you want to subscribe to it and check out what else I have. But yeah, thanks. Have a good night. And adios. Bye.